All right, after a fairly long season and after a couple races with a lot of drama, especially in recent weeks, we're gonna end the final round of the regular season here at USA Speedway here for the Fuel Mission 22 Cup Series. I'm Finney Nakuna. I'll be leading the broadcast tonight, and joining me in the booth will be Zach Passon. And Zach, we got a hell of a show here tonight at a short track here right before the Fuel finals start, and I think we're going to be in for a very interesting race.
Yeah, we got a hot point battle heating up right now. Four guys locked in so far, all just based on wins. Anthony DeBarro, Jeff Ward, Nick Cohan, and Timothy Johnston are all locked in on wins. Based on points, we have three guys locked in, so long as Evan Adams is in the field. That's Alex Martinez, Thomas Bressi, and of course Evan Adams, as aforementioned. Points, we have four guys right now above the cut line. Hayden Pastorius, Shane Ewing, Johnny Lakatos.
Casey Woodhouse.
Oh, my apologies.
Oh, good.
Brian Chambliss, and I'm just looking for the last name. Casey Shue are all right there above the cut line, right above the cut line right now. Shue is 16 points to the good, so that could swing pretty big tonight.
Yeah, but all those drivers seeing with the points total, they still have a chance of getting knocked back into the clutches of drivers in behind waiting to get in. We also just saw Alec Martinez running his laps and trying to put a lap time in. Also, a few more drivers still out there running. Greg Evans in the 46, and you can see, he's all good and in as long as he showed up tonight. And he's definitely shown up and on the track now, so he's all good, doesn't have to worry about it. Just needs to start and hopefully finish this race at least in a good position for him.
Yeah, he looked good in practice, so let's see if he can put it all together in the race. He's been fairly consistent this year, so I think he can bring it home tonight.
And coming across the line, and it's gonna put him up in 4th place for the 46 car. A solid qualifying effort for him. Doesn't look like anyone else is gonna be putting out a time, and not gonna have enough time as he got 5 seconds left in qualifying. But it's gonna be Jeff Ward, Brandon Key, Nick Cohen, your top three, and we'll go through the starting grid once again once these guys get gritty here for tonight's race.
Yeah, lots of close times up too. I mean, your top 10 are separated by at most a tenth and a half of a second. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it really is, and you see everyone getting ready and lining up on the grid, and we'll take this time to go through your starting lineup. If I can just quickly find where it is. And we got Jeff Ward on the pole in the 89 car, and outside of him in the 22, Brandon Key. Great qualifying effort for him in his Toyota Camry. Yep, gotta throw that back up again.
Nick Cohan starting on the inside of row 2 in the 3rd spot. Greg Evans outside of him in the 4th spot.
So they're row number 2, and then moving on back to row number 3, we're gonna have, waiting for it to scroll, Colin Fambrough in the 5 car on the inside lane, and outside of him in 6 will be Anthony DeBarro. We know DeBarro, he's been very, very dominant this season.
Extremely dominant. Let's see if he can put it together all tonight. Timothy Johnston starting on the, my apologies. Thomas Bressi starting on the inside of row 3 down there in the 7th position, outside of row 4 rather. Outside of him, Timothy Johnston starting 8th. Pretty quiet season for those guys, but that's strong, consistent guys all season long.
Yep, we'll let the rest of your starting lineup scroll across the bottom here. But Zach, I would say, how experienced are you on short tracks?
I'm decently experienced on the short tracks. I have more experience with the dirt side of things than the asphalt side, but decently experienced enough to know what these guys are doing to an extent.
Yeah, what do you think that going into a track like this, especially with a lot riding on in the points picture for a lot of these guys, going to pull that graphic back up again, going to refer to it a lot tonight. But for guys like Brian Chambers, Casey Shue, Colin Fambrough, Thomas George on that border, what do you have to do as a driver here at a short track here with one race left to get yourself into a championship position? What's on your mind going into this race?
I mean, personally, I'd probably run the first laps as smooth and consistent as I possibly can. See how the points are kind of shaking out where I'm running. If I'm running, 15th, that's probably not going to be too good if a guy, that I'm fighting for is leading. So I'd just kind of take it easy the first 100 laps and then start looking into the last 100 laps for trying to push, not over missing braking zones, making contact, racing hard, wearing out tires super early on.
Yeah, we definitely know that if you're not careful, you can definitely easily wear out your equipment, and it's going to be a real struggle for you, especially because this is a fairly tight track. Again, it wasn't never designed to have these heavy, big stock cars go around here, but nonetheless, we are still here tonight for the race here, and again, a very unorthodox combination. We've been here before in the Fuel Cup Series, believe it or not, and that was a fairly solid event. A couple of cautions here and there, but these guys this season have been putting on phenomenal racing. And I think tonight's going to be no smaller exception to that rule. As you see the last few drivers roll across the bottom. Kelvin Filarski in 35th. There might be another car in behind him, but hopefully not. I wouldn't want to leave someone left out.
Yeah, I mean, these cars, I'm interested to see how, with the high downforce, these things play out around here. I don't really think air is going to be much of an issue, but, the braking zones is going to be a lot smaller this year, where you have a lot more downforce, so you can really charge the corner. So, interested to see how that plays out and if we get a high line.
Yep, and pace car is going to be in, and we're going to get ready here for the start of this race. Jeff Ward is off and away. Green flag here at USA.
Ward gets a great start, pulls out to decent-sized lead. Cohan and Evans battling down there on the bottom. DeBarro looking inside.
Scoring is going absolutely berserk for me, but it's Greg Evans going to be moving his way into third place. Brandon Key going to drop all the way back into fourth and is still not clear just yet. He's fighting Anthony DeBarro to his inside and still getting Freight Train on that inside.
Yeah, that inside line is rolling on that restart. DeBarro, Evans, those guys were just able to drive right by him. Lost a whole bunch of positions. Looking like everything's fairly locked down right now to the bottom, so yeah, we'll see if that stays that way throughout the night. Yeah, I doubt it.
Looking on board with Brandon Key dropping all the way back to fifth. A lot of Toyotas in the front, second, fourth, and fifth as they're running at the moment, at least in the front of the field. But Brandon Key trying to, let's see if he can actually try to turn this back around. Definitely shown he's got the pace, at least in qualifying. Let's see if he can transfer that into race pace. But the first few rows, actually, most of the field already getting single file and sorted out. Moving on back to find the next guy side by side, it's Travis McQuistion and the 0-8 of Derek Castor. They're side by side for position as McQuistion almost gets into the wall.
Wow, that was really, really close there.
Indeed it was. McQuistion still trying to fight on that high lane. Looks like he's just going to get on past, but most of the field are getting very sorted out. But looking back to the front, Greg Evans trying to hold off Anthony
we got a wreck in the
DeBarro.
back.
Oh, yeah, and a caution out. It looks like it was Mitchell Welker involved, as well as Evan Adams stuck in that too, but he might have got in there late. Let's try to see what exactly happened to these guys.
Oh, it looks like the 86 car got into Mitchell Welker entering the corner.
Yeah.
Set him around, and poor Don Runkle just had nowhere to go.
I think different guys taking different lines into the corner here. We'll try to ride on board with the 86. That is John Bortz. So here's what happened here. Just a little bit too far to the, I guess, dove in a little bit hard there as Mitchell Welker was closing in. Was clear for a second, but unfortunately, both those drivers made some contact. And hopefully, Welker's car isn't too damaged. Doesn't look like it.
Looks like we got a few takers on pit road.
A lot of takers on pit road. At least in the back of the field, a lot of guys coming in. I guess figuring might as well begin to make the stop. Ooh, Don Runkle, a lot of damage to the nose of his car.
Yeah, he got caught up in that accident. Unfortunately, just had nowhere to really go when as Welker was coming back up the track.
And his car is more torn up than Mitchell Welker, who's right in front of him. And Welker was pretty much the cause of that caution. So
yeah,
it's
unfortunate night once again for Don Runkle.
Yeah, it's unfortunate how some of these things turn out. But Welker going to be out there relatively little damage his car. Again, really the only thing he needs to worry about is the engine and the handling of the machine. Aero, don't really need a whole lot of it at a short track.
No, I mean, this track isn't super quick either. I mean, it's a decent sized track. It's almost a mile. And there's a decent amount of banking, so I wouldn't think aero would matter too terribly much on this size track. It's not quite Bristol, but it's not quite Dover either,
Yeah.
in terms of how it's laid out. So, just a really unique racetrack.
Yeah, and watching these guys pace is Jeff Ward and still in the lead. Nick Cohan with a Halloween theme paint scheme on his car. That looks like, oh, it's a ghost dabbing on the back. try to get a better shot of that. You see up
Oh,
the
that's
nose
amazing.
of Greg Evans, currently running in third. That's a really cool paint scheme. Nice to see that. There's a driver with Halloween theme modified in the last race we were doing just before this. So nice to see some guys getting in the
In the
holiday spirit. Yeah. And actually, oh wait, hang on. What does it say on his hood? I gotta read this.
Oh.
I can't quite get a good look. I don't know, Zach, if you can get a better view of it.
I'm just here for the booze. Again, it's a ghost holding a beer.
uh,
That's really good.
yeah,
That's a
really,
fantastic paint scheme.
yeah, definitely a really good one. So nice to see Cohen getting in the spirit. I'm sure he'll be much more in the spirit if he can wrestle away the lead here from Jeff Ward in the 89, who's off to a quick start in this race. Again, haven't really seen these guys get into a long green flag run yet, with a short caution coming out. But an interesting thing that I was surprised by is how quickly everyone got single file in the front of the field. The top 15 cars were all single file for the most part. And, I'm curious, do you think that these guys are going to be struggling with passing tonight?
I don't know if it's that or if I just think these guys are being smart and biding their time. I mean, it's a 200 lap race and we're on lap 10 now, so I think it would be smart if they rode for a while. The track's fairly green as well, so it might take a while to get some other lines built up. So maybe the first 50 or so laps, it might be pretty single file. It's just hard to pass.
Definitely are going to go into the night. And really quickly, I'm going to try to pull this up here. Conditions, it's currently 83 degrees on the track, might drop down a little bit more as the sun starts to set more below the horizon. But meanwhile, pace car going to pull back off the track, and start's going to be in charge of Jeff Ward. Green flag back in the air here at USA. Great start for the 89.
Let's see if the 21 car decides to go to the bottom. Oh, the Barrow sneaks in there on him.
Yeah, gets right onto the inside. Tries to have a look, but no cigar. Meanwhile, in behind him, Greg Evans going to have a look down here into turn 3. Can't quite get alongside.
Really close quarters racing down there in 3 and 4. I mean, this is such a fast track for these cars, with the size of it, just how small. So I would be not surprised to have a couple cautions entering the corner, just how fast these guys are entering.
Yeah, pretty much like what we saw with Mitchell Walker. But it's currently Jeff Ward still in the lead, and there you see Cohen all over his back bumper, and over the back bumper of Cohen is his teammate, Anthony DeBarro.
Oh.
We see these guys, even though they're teammates, have been pretty aggressive with each other, and caution back out.
Let's see what happened here.
Let's see what happened. I think it might have involved Calvin Flarsky, maybe.
Side of Brian Jiblis.
Yeah, sorry, you're going to have to repeat. Oh. Hello?
Yep, I'm still here.
Oh, okay, good. I thought the internet. I'm having a little bit of connection issues at the moment. Oh, and
I got you.
Seems I have dropped connection, so we'll be right back. Going to go quickly to commercial so I can reconnect to the server. Alright, welcome back. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but finally got everything back in order. And you're here for the restart here. Only missed, I think, 1 or 2 laps. But Jeff Ward in the lead still. We got Nick Cohen in behind him. Anthony Navarro also in behind. So the top few drivers have remained in the same order for now.
Yeah, Cohen was really pressuring Jeff Ward there for a couple of laps. Starting to fall back just a touch. I don't know if Ward picked up the pace or Cohen's decided it's not worth racing that hard. And only here on lap 22.
And still seeing the trend of the leaders getting strung out for the moment. Looking further down the order, you got Timothy Johnson in 6th. Brandon Key has dropped all the way back to 7th. Still a fairly good run for the 22 car, but has still got some more work to do. And behind him, Alec Martinez in the 54, rookie this season, but has been doing a fantastic job. And again, I'm going to pull out the points. You see, currently in 5th, locked in. Doesn't have to really worry about a whole lot tonight. Actually scrapes the wall just a little bit on the straightaway.
Yeah, I've noticed guys are getting really close to the turn 2 and turn 4 exit, walls on the exit of the corner. So as the tires wear in, I think that's going to be a much bigger deal. Car way up the back.
Yeah, it was Travis McQuiston in the background, got way up the track. Looks he's got it sorted out in order. Back in 19th for the 93 car. Yeah, fairly orderly start. A lot of guys just slotting themselves in line. And how about these two guys, Hayden Pistorius and Riley Thompson? Could have won both of them, either one of these drivers at Talladega. Unfortunately, we ended up with a fantastic finish. Unfortunately, though, it wasn't one of these two guys in the lead.
Yeah, unbelievable finish last week, having a car in 2nd place finish backwards in one of the closest races in fuel history. So maybe they'll be able to beat that tonight. You know, short track racing beating and banging. Never know. These guys put on one heck of a show all year long.
You never do know. There's Woody Mahan in the background in 8th place, trying to find a lane on the 0 car is Sam Crow. Has been looking at it. It definitely looks like these guys struggling to make some moves here. And some guys going defensive and able to keep it fairly easily.
Yeah, running up the track just that little bit is really going to hurt guys in terms of corner exit, because if you can get a good run on them, you're not really able to do much with it if they're just holding you tight. So interested to see if guys start venturing up to that high lane, trying to make some passes, or if it's just going to be good old short track racing style, move out of the way to pass.
Oh, Jeff Ward up in the front got a little bit loose, but these two guys in behind him, the 21 and the 27, they've been really close, and I'm curious if they'll try to do anything. Here comes Cohen now to the inside trying to make a pass, can't get it done. That outside lane, and we've seen this at many tracks, especially the 1.5 miles, that outside lane being really dominant.
Yeah, he's using the crossover move, entering high and actually low in 3, low off the corner, trying to get some momentum built up, and as Ward slides up the track, getting a nose in under him. It's a great tactic for short track racing, especially, at a paperclip style racetrack like this.
He seems to have a look to the outside. I definitely think if he's going to want to make a pass, he's going to have to do it out there. Again, the problem is trying to get into that lane. You imagine the 89 probably not going to let him go there. You see him do a little big block in the middle of the corner.
The 89 moved up to try and take that line away from him. The big disadvantage when you open the bottom up like that, though, is you have a guy might be able to do exactly like what Nick Cohen's doing right now, stick the nose under.
Yeah, but the only problem is he's been losing so much time on the exit there. He had a really good shot there, but by the exit of the corner, just couldn't keep it there and actually took the apron a little bit. He's just been trying everything he can. Unfortunately, no cigar, and while this battle's been going, it's allowed Greg Evans to catch back up.
Yeah, I mean, this race for the lead is pretty fantastic early on. Lap 33, having the top 4 separated within less than a second. So these guys are running a lot harder than I would have thought they would have been.
Yeah, indeed, especially the top 4. Again, not really much of a change in the order, but still very close. They come down to quite a bit of strategy. We see these races go pretty green. A lot of green flags stop getting involved, and guys have had to mix up on the strategy. You can't just spin under caution. You got to do something, and that's really where we might see this race be won. Hello.
Yep, there we go.
Yep, I'm back. Had another little spurt. Well, it looks like we're good, at least for now. Cohen still trying to jog Jeff Ward. He's been getting really antsy behind. Both these guys have been shifting up and down the track, trying to defend and attack each other.
And we're about to reach lap traffic. This is the first time we've reached it this race. Interested to see how this plays out. Cohen's once again looking to the inside. He is absolutely all over him.
He has been all over him, looking off the rear of Jeff Ward, but even right in front of him, you can see some lap traffic getting in the way. There's the 12 car going to the high side, letting the leaders on by. Gets to the wall a little bit. And this is really where Cohen can take advantage. If you can use someone as a pick, use it to get around, but he's got to be careful though navigating traffic. It's really hard.
Yeah, Cohen's running that outside line right now, which I'm, kind of surprised we're in or start in this early. But it's good to see that guys are able to make different stuff other than just right around the bottom work. Yeah. Don Rocket tags the fence.
It's been a struggle for him ever since getting involved in that wreck. Wasn't able to really get a chance to see what exactly happened to him in that, but his car got damaged a lot, and it looks even worse off than it was before now.
Yeah, I think the car is just damaged to the point where it's plowing tight, and he's having issues keeping it, outside of the wall. Looks like he's really having to back out of it, getting out of the corners. So, tough night for Don Runkle already.
Yeah, and it's really unfortunate considering we've still got quite a bit ways left to go in this race. We're only on lap 40 of 200. Meanwhile, up in the front, Greg Evans getting close to Anthony DeBarro, trying to make a pass, but not much of a chance for him. But moving on back further down the order, looking at Riley Thompson, he's in a big fight. But here we got Colin Famber right in front, and ooh, just saw Zach Buchanan get a piece of the wall.
Yeah, that turn 2 wall is going to sneak up on guys all night long. How many? I mean, you can just see as they're going down the straightaway, sparks flying pretty much the whole way down. So it sneaks up on you quick here, and I think that's just going to get worse the longer we stay green.
It's definitely going to get a lot worse the longer we stay green, especially too, and we see it a lot of times. I definitely think you've seen a lot of times as well. That once you damage your car, it only gets worse and worse. And you see, oh, he actually scrapes the wall just a little bit again.
Big.
So issues starting to compound for the 40 car. Hopefully he doesn't get any more damage. Oh, and as they say, that gets to the wall hard. Yeah. So it has been getting worse for the 40, and he's going to start losing more and more handling. He's also got Don Runkle up ahead. Here comes Pistorius now to his inside.
Pistorius gets really loose coming off the corner, trying to keep it up, nice and green. He's able to do it. Some great racing going on right now.
It's really great racing. A lot of guys giving a lot of respect. It's very easy to let your emotions get to you and throw it to the inside. But these guys have been very calm and patient, trying to make some attempts here and there. They're definitely not waiting around, but they've been doing so very smartly, I guess is the best way to put it. I know it's not correct grammar, but we're going to go with it.
We don't worry about correct grammar.
No, we do not.
Not this early in the night, at least.
Yeah, definitely not on the internet. You see Don Runkle
right.
out of the way, getting out of the way. Meanwhile, back in the front, these guys have been going at it for a while. It's really hard to not put the camera on them. Anthony DeBarro and Jeff Ward for third place, as they've been navigating quite a bit of lap traffic.
Yeah, Greg Evans and DeBarro have been putting on a show. Same way with Jeff Ward and Nick Cohan. Just fantastic battles here tonight. I mean, it really shows you how good these things can get on short track racing. Remind me a lot of the tour mods, actually, in terms of how much power they have and how much downforce they have. They just don't have the same amount of suspension movement with them, for what I've noticed. So they typically lend to some decent racing.
Oh, Greg Evans around in the background out of turn 4. Caution is going to be out for a half spin from the 46 car of Greg Evans. Let's take a look at what happened there. He just pulled off of him, and only to see him get involved in a wreck. So here's the replay. See him coming down the back straightaway. Did he get tagged from one of these lap cars in behind him?
He certainly did. Travis picked position. Looks like made a little bit of contact coming out of turn 4 and just sent him around.
Yeah, McQuistion and him getting side by side, and just making some contact. We'll try to take a look on that from the 93's point of view.
Looks like we got a lot of takers on pit road.
Yeah, indeed we are. I just came back, so they're going to take, while I still have it queued up, we're going to take one more look at what happened from McQuistion's point of view. I think gassed up a little bit too much on exit, getting into the 46. But yeah, pit stops underway, and I'm not too surprised from this. From a lot of the leaders have been out there for a decent amount of time.
Yeah, I mean, 50 laps on a set of tires. You can do that 4 times this race. Just break it up into even segments. If we keep it at the rate we've had with cautions, I think that's probably what you're gonna see. Now, if we get a long green flag run, I'm interested to see if guys try and save fuel or just go all out.
They're definitely gonna try to see if they can do that. We're looking at Casey Lacatus. He was staying out there to lead a point. Remember, he's one of those drivers close to that cutoff line. He's not completely clear just yet. It's got a decent amount of points. 86, which is almost a race win's worth. But again, if someone gets a race win, that could potentially knock him out. So you never know when you're exactly safe. So he'll come back out in 21st. And I'm trying to look through the order here to see how some of our other drivers are doing.
Yeah, Riley Thompson is actually one of the guys below the cutoff line right now in the top 20. And he's been running fairly decent tonight. He was really, really quick in practice and in qualifying. So there's potential that he might be able to drive his way up through and take a win from one of these guys. And that could really put some, guys on the bubble out of it quick. So they're getting all the points they can get right now, just being smart.
Yeah, I'm looking at some other guys right ahead of him. Colin Fambro doing what he needs to get done. He's 16 points behind Casey Shue. And speaking of Casey Shue, Colin Fambro's running in 7th, Casey Shue all the way back in 30th. So it's not been a good run for the 4-car tonight. And to make it even worse, that car not too badly damaged or anything, but he's 3 laps down. That's going to be a big hurdle to overcome.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of as quick as they catch lap traffic here, these guys are going to start putting cars a lap down quick. So it's going to be a really uphill battle for him tonight to try and get those laps back.
Yeah, and also looking at another driver behind the cutoff line. Unfortunately, Thomas George is not here with us tonight, and that's really quite unfortunate because he's run pretty strong. It sucks to not see him out here. Hopefully he's all right wherever he is, if he's got other priorities. But one driver who is in trying to get himself into the playoffs, or into the finals, I should say, is Vic Bloom in that 99. He's back in 23rd, so he really needs to make something happen to get him some points to get him up in the order.
I think early on, Vic Bloom and another driver made a little bit of contact, so not sure if there's any damage on that car. Just overheard some radio chatter from earlier in the race.
Yeah, we'll see if that does affect him. But getting ready for the restart here. Pace car is going to be in. Jeff Ford immediately jumping on the gun. Green flag back in the air. Great start for the 89. And also Cohen just trying to get up to speed. And how about Thomas Bresci, that 24 to the outside now?
Yeah, looking really strong there on the outside. Looks like he's going to tuck back in. But he might not be able to hold that 4th spot. We got some guys looking really, really hard fast behind them.
Yeah, and remember, Thomas Bresci. Oh, a spin in the background. Sam Crow around, and caution going to be back in the air. Trying to get to him. Looks like actually it wasn't that bad. Just a little bit of a half spin. We'll take a look at that.
Looks like the 8 car got him to him just a little bit of Woody Mahan about the center of the corner.
Yeah, just a little bit of contact, just touching each other. Ooh, looks like Greg Evans got a piece of that as well. We'll right on board with the 56. Or 46, sorry.
Good amount of right front damage.
Yeah, and here you see it from the nose of Greg Evans happen right in front. There's the 8, there's the 0. A little bit of a tap, and then nowhere for Greg Evans to go. It doesn't seem like he hit it that hard, so should be all right.
And luckily for him, Arrow's not going to matter too much tonight. It's not like it's Talladega last week, where that would have been pretty much, almost the end of his race.
Yeah, and again, don't have to worry too much about the arrows we've been talking about tonight. You can definitely rough up your car quite a bit, and I imagine a lot of guys saving that for later when it comes down to it, especially our guys in the front. A lot of them have shown they're not shy to share a bumper or two. Between Ward, Cohen, DeBarro, Evans, Bresci, all at Richmond. That was an amazing race to watch.
Yeah, that was a very interesting race to try and get taken care of post race. Wasn't envious of anyone that night, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm hoping that tonight goes a little smoother. I mean, still keep some excitement from the Richmond night, but just a little smoother, and maybe not as many guys mad at each other tonight. I think that would be a good way to enter the playoffs.
Yeah, we saw it too, Richmond, just talking about it again. We had 3 drivers suspended the next race from everything that went down, including Greg Emmons and Bresci, and I believe Casey Shue, if I am not mistaken. It was those 3.
Yeah, Bresci joined you guys last week in the booth.
Because he was suspended.
Yes, exactly. So had a nice guest commentator there, but I think he's glad to be back out on the track.
Alright, we're back yet again. Again, I do quite apologize. I actually have taken some measures. Unfortunately, it's going to be at the cost of the stream quality a little bit. I lowered it down to 6K or 6 megabytes per second. Usually we run at 9K megabytes per second to keep it nice and smooth, but unfortunately the internet not cooperating, so I'm going to take a precautionary measure, try to lower that down. Hopefully it helps. I think it might be we're putting a little bit too much stress on the internet between me and Kyle for coming from the same location with two different streams going on. So hopefully this will hold on. But luckily, didn't miss anything again as we're getting ready. I think should be getting the one to go here.
Yeah, I think so. They're doubled up, so looking for the lights to go off in the pace car. And they do.
Actually, I might try to just quickly bump it up to. I'll be pushing my luck here. But we'll bump it up to 7K just to make it a little bit better.
Another interesting story. It's the night. The lights are out. Nicoan looking to the outside. Really, really strong run there off of 2. Can't get side by side with him. There's a little bit of an overlap. Let's see if he tries it down here into the 3.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not.
Oh, sorry.
Hey,
My bad.
Yeah, I dropped. I moved it back up to 7, and as soon as I did, it fucking dropped. So I'm just gonna keep it at 6. Oh man, I don't know why we've done this before. It hasn't been as bad recently. I have no clue why this bad, but sorry, it's gonna kick me out of the damn server. It won't let me rejoin. This is going. Anything? Still green?
Yep, we're still green.
Okay.
Pretty much the same, the usual. Something I have noticed though is certain guys are shifting in the middle of the corner.
Oh, okay. Try to if you can quickly try to get a count of, or just try to figure out who is and who isn't. I guess we'll talk about that once I get back in. Loading back in.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah.
Looks like your top 3 are at least. I'll check as I go through the field.
Yeah. Any major passes? I'm guessing they just single file back out.
No. No, they might be shifting. I will say that my iRacing's been messed up here recently.
Also, if you can do me a solid, if you can
Yeah.
try to check how much time's left in the server too, just keep track of that.
Where is that at? The sim time?
Oh,
Or is
don't
that
look at
the
the sim
lap time?
time in the top. Try to get the boxes, the like the F1, F2, F3 boxes. Might have to pop on a pit road to try to get that up, but that'll tell you the actual server time left.
123.42 right now.
Oh, so they got that much remaining?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, that's a lot of time.
Yeah, we're flying through this so far. I mean, we're on lap 67. No major changes yet.
Almost back. Shit, actually. I just remembered to do something before I had more problems. Alright, and apologize yet again for another intermission, but we're back here live, and it's still Nick Cohen trying to chase down Jeff Ward in the front, and in behind him it's Anthony DeBarro trying to hold off Thomas Bresci, and then Timothy Johnson rounding out your top 5 at lap 74. It's now 75 of 200. Working at Nick Cohen trying to chase down Jeff Ward. Jeff Ward's been the man to beat all night long. Going now looking to the outside of Ward. Can't get a pass done though. Oh, and there he actually gets a really good run to the outside. They're both side by side for the moment, but Ward getting a really good run on that inside off the corner. It seems that no matter what, even if you try the outside, you really have to be established alongside to try to make any pass work.
And the braking zone here is so short now due to just how much, how quick aero, focused the cars are, how much downforce that rear spoiler is generating.
Caution out though, as we were in the middle of that run. Not sure who the cause was exactly. Doesn't seem actually like anyone quite brought it out, so I'll try to take a look here and to see what happened. Oh, found it. And it is the 08 of Derek Castor that went for a little bit of loop. I'll try to get a better look at that. That is not Derek Castor, but there's Pelletier hitting the wall. But here you see it was the next lap by, or actually in this corner here. You're going to see the 08 go up high here, come down low. Oh, it was actually the next lap. I do apologize for that. And then right here, Pelletier just going to come up into it, just tap him around, goes for a fairly light spin. Doesn't actually hit anyone else, but caution out nonetheless. Good thing, though, we have not seen a big wreck tonight.
Yeah, I have a feeling that's going to change later on during the race as these guys get a little,
And some interesting stuff on pit road. Jeff Ward, the only driver not to come down. Every other car down on pit road, and the race off of pit road is going to be Nick Cohen winning that fight. It's going to be Anthony DeBarro, Timothy Johnson, Thomas Bresci, Riley Thompson will move himself up into 7th. Brandon Key, and Greg Evans, and also Hayden Pistorius all around your top 10. Casey Lacatus is staying out as per usual. Actually, looks like he might stay out under that.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't blame him. That was a fairly short run that he had. So I guess might as well throw a gamble and get yourself out there. So interesting call by the 50, but you know what? I like it at this point. Fairly on to the race. If it doesn't work out, you still got half the race left to go.
Yeah, I mean, I have, with the way we've been getting cautions tonight, I have a feeling we'll probably have 1 or 2 more. So whenever Jeff Ward pits, I have a feeling he's going to follow right down there behind him. So that strategy call might work out for him. It's going to be hard starting on the outside, though. Now that Cohen has fresh tires on the inside, I think he's going to get gobbled up pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's really, I guess, what we're going to see. Up, and actually, look, he's going to come down to the pits. He's going to leave Jeff Ward all out there on older tires. So this is should be a good time to see an experiment again. Gone with some slightly fresher rubber. Will he be able to get ahead of the 89 car?
Yeah, I mean, the run wasn't too terribly long, but we're about to find out how much just fresh tires mean. We're almost halfway. Do you think these guys would start using the bumper quite this early, or?
I think it's a little bit early for that. I can definitely see them at probably a lap 150 past that. These guys starting to use it. We're still under halfway in this race, and for the most part, they've been pretty. I always say for the most part, they've been really respectful, other than a few guys getting to each other here and there. But I think it's gonna still remain clean for the most part throughout this race. But we'll have to see. We said that. Me and Cal said that about Richmond. We know how that turned out. So anything could really change here, especially at a short track. And Space Car's going to come across the line, and we're going to be 1 lap to go until green. Yeah, so anyone standing out to you in particular? I think I know what you're going to say.
I mean, Riley Thompson up there.
That's not what I thought you were going to say. But...
Riley Thompson in the 6th spot. I mean, he's charged from deep in the field. He was quick early on, had some fresh tires now. Might be able to make something happen here.
Yeah, up into 5th place, and can definitely make something happen here if he gets a good launch as with everyone else.
Greg Evans has also recovered to 8th.
Yeah,
already. So
yeah, a great recovery for him after what happened to him earlier after a little bit of a spin. But pace car going to be back off the track yet again. And Jeff Ward with a fantastic start. Green flag out in the air, and Nick Cohen's going to try to chase him down on fresher rubber, as well as DeBarro and Johnston in behind.
this is going to be really fun to watch here. These guys already are looking quicker than Ward, just center of the corner.
Up and here he goes now to the inside. He's got that fresher rubber to work with. Ward trying to do everything he can to defend that high lane. And I think that's his best bet at the moment. There you see him go out for the block. Will Cohen sit in behind? He's going to have to.
DeBarro taking a look to the outside right now, down the back straightaway. That's going to block Cohen in.
Yeah, the teammates going at it. In fact, it's teammates second, third, and fourth, but Cohen back again to the inside. Now Timothy Johnson trying to make a pass on DeBarro now for third place.
We got another yellow out.
And another wreck in the back is going to be Norm Pelletier in the 56.
That's a tough night for Norm tonight. Was involved in another early caution.
Yeah, indeed it was. It tapped the 08 around. Let's see what happened here. Ooh, just got into Lakatos, and unfortunately that's at the 56 around for a little bit. All right, on board with the 56 to get a view of this. And then off the inside he will go, and there you see him just come just a little bit into the 50. Lakatos, but fortunately for Pelletier, at least you didn't hit anything, and that's actually been the theme of a lot of accidents. I'm noticing a lot of guys spinning, not actually hitting anything though. Maybe some slight contact with other cars, but no one's gotten into a fairly big wreck yet.
I mean,
the worst
the
was Welker.
First lap, yeah. The other thing I've noticed is just how little it's taken to spin these guys out. I mean, it's not been big contact that have sent these cars around the night. It's mainly just been wheel to wheel, slight rubbing that's just launched the car around.
We're anointing a pope on pit road. This is a big smoke screen. I'm not sure whose car that is. I gotta find who on earth that is just smoking down pit road. I guess we can't figure that out, but hopefully they get their car fixed. And also looking, hey, Casey Shue got some luck. He's going to be getting back one of his laps. He's now going to be 2 laps down. So this is a big breakthrough for the 4. Remember, bring it back up again. Gotta also thank Kyle for throwing this together. It's been very useful tonight. Look at where the 4 of Casey Shue is. He's just within the cusp, but however, Colin Famble has been having a fairly solid run. He's running in 12th, so Shue has got a lot of positions to make up. He's still back in 28th, but this is a big step for him. If he can get another lap back, once he gets back to 1 lap down, it's not as big of a hurdle.
Yeah, I mean, Shue's right there on the bubble, and I think these cautions are really helping him. Where there's no other cars a lap down, the leaders aren't able to get to any more lap traffic, and he's just able to call these back. So I think Casey Shue wants to see a couple more of these come out, get himself back on the lead lap, and maybe mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, it's been a rough night for the 4, but you can see car is still clean, doesn't have any damage to it from at least what I can see. And if he can keep it that way, get some laps back, maybe you pull some strategy to try to get himself back on the lead lap, he should be good to go. I imagine that's what his goal is going to be for the next half of this race. And we've had quite a few cautions too. Unfortunately, the graphic not accurate due to me having to restart the ticker several times. So we had quite a few. We had a few cautions though here and there, but they've been relatively small incidents.
Yeah, nothing major tonight. Luckily so far for these guys, it's been fairly clean. I mean, a little more cautions than I was thinking we might have for the first 100 laps, but it's not been much in terms of contact. A lot of respect, out there on the racetrack. Mainly just miscalculations.
Yeah, indeed. And if you're watching us for the first time, I do apologize for the issues we've been having. We're running 2 streams simultaneously. And I think that's led to a few issues. We'll try to get that sorted out from next week onwards, and just kind of sorting things out. It's the first time we tried it in a while, and hopefully we can get that sorted out by next week. For the now, it looks, I don't want to jinx it. Actually, no, I'm going to stop what I'm saying because I don't want to jinx it. Anyway, 1 lap left to go before green, half a lap now. As Jeff Ward's going to choose the outside lane. I think he has been choosing the inside.
He's been taking the inside.
Yeah.
So, interesting call here. I wonder if he's just trying to hold Nick Cohen down.
Yeah, could be also trying to experiment here. We'll have to see how this plays out for him. But pace car can make the duck onto pit road. And green flag back in the air here at USA.
He's able to clear Cohan down the straightaway. Let's see if he's able to get a hold him tight down in turn 1.
Yeah, remember Cohen from the last restart has fresher tires. They seem able to stick pretty close to the end, but to get that run off the corner, he's just been killing him for the entire race pretty much. He's gonna have another look at the inside, gonna try to hook the inside, hits the apron, and goes for a spin through the grass and getting a jump. And Cohen, oh man, let's see, is he gonna get back up to speed? He is, but that's gonna put him all the way back. He's still dropping back in 27th.
Wow, that got big. And Casey Shue almost got into an accident right there in front of him as well.
Back up in the front, that mixed up things quite a bit. It's going to be Timothy Johnson in second, Anthony DeBarro trying to hold off Greg Evans. And we've seen these two guys get together before, so this is familiar territory for them. Thomas Bresci in 5th place on the outside of Greg Evans is trying to hold position there. We got Brandon Key and Riley Thompson sitting in behind.
Yeah, quite a night for Brandon Key so far. I mean, had a rough start to the race, but has kind of held on to that 6th position and just hung around there.
He's hung around there and he's been not really dropped outside of the top 10, and I imagine he's going to try to do the best he can to stay there. But these guys try to sort themselves out through the front. Looking back at the rest of the order, got Woody Mahan trying to make a pass on the inside of Hayden Pistorius, getting really tight. You're going to force the 19 up the track. Pistorius is going to keep the spot.
Now Colin Fambro is trying to look down on the inside on Woody due to that move.
And almost touching fenders there. You guys got to be a little bit careful here because it can get very ugly very fast. And in behind we have Robert Hall, who remember won our Dover race earlier in the year, and unfortunately wasn't able to qualify for the fuel playoffs because he did not make a required amount of starts. So unfortunately he's going to have to miss the playoffs for this year, but still got some decent pace in the 30. Hasn't really shown it tonight, so hopefully he can get back up there.
Yeah, it's a fairly quiet night for Robert Hall. Typically he comes out and lights the world on fire in most of the fuel series that we've had so far, but this past couple of weeks it's just kind of been quiet, consistent, right around the 10th place. Not too terribly much out of them.
Where it isn't quiet though is in the front, and these guys have been going at it, both DeBarro, Johnson, and Ward. They've not been content with sitting back here in second and third place. They want the lead. They want it now. Here comes DeBarro to the outside of his teammate Timothy Johnson. You can see how hot the brakes are getting. You can see it glowing from the front wheel well of these cars.
Yeah, that high lane's starting to roll, just able to roll it through the center. I think if Jeff Ward wasn't there, Anthony DeBarro would be clear of Johnston by now, with just how quick he's able to roll that center to the top side.
Yeah, you actually see DeBarro now going on to the outside of Jeff Ward, just trying to get, I guess, maybe air or just get a better run to the outside of that 20. It's been working so far, but I think Ward's just been doing everything he can to police these two guys and keep them both side by side indefinitely. But no, here comes Timothy Johnson backing out. It's going to be DeBarro that takes second place, and Greg Evans now trying to slot in through. Follow the 27, and now 27 goes to the inside, side by side for the lead.
Clips the apron there a little bit. It's going to get loose and get 8 up, 3 wide in the middle. One by his teammate, drives it in really deep to try and get out of this situation.
Boy. Yeah, almost making contact. So we saw DeBarro do pretty much exactly what Cohen did. Unfortunately for DeBarro, was able to save the car. But here comes Greg Evans now on that 46, now going to the outside of Timothy Johnson. This is going to get interesting here.
This is fantastic up here to the front. Some really close border racing.
Gives a shove to the 27, sends him up the track, but Greg Evans has nowhere to go. You can see the dent that he's left in the 27's rear. Here's if DeBarro's thinking he's going to want to pay that back later.
Yeah, he might. I mean, these guys have kept it fairly clean, but I think the sense of urgency is finally kicking in. We're past halfway now, and the final race of the season's just about done.
Final race of the regular season, and remember these two have a history. I hate to keep bringing it up, but they've gotten each other once. Who's to say they won't do it again? Here goes DeBarro again to the inside of Jeff Ward. This is the best he's been looking so far. They're side by side down the front straightaway. If he can just get this run off the corner, he should have the lead. But Ward up the track though.
And DeBarro followed him up the track just a little bit too. Wasn't able to make it. Now Greg Evans looking to the outside.
Yeah, so a lot of different lines here going to affect a lot of these guys diamonding the corner on the outside lane. You don't really hear that a lot. And Evans getting blocked by the 27. Aggressive and hard racing here in the front.
Fun to watch though. Really exciting.
Really exciting indeed. There you see him behind Riley Thompson and Brandon Key going at it. Thompson's going to move around the 22. And here comes Zach Buchanan. We saw Buchanan get into the wall quite a bit. Going to pinch that 22 down on the... Oh, boy.
Oh, he moves him up.
Oh,
does he get the wall?
Yeah. And Buchanan pinching that 22 down. Made some contact in the corner. Looks like we're all good for now. Oh, and behind them. Hayden Pistorius with a half spin. He's also going to save it. So a lot of things hanging off here in the midfield. Looks like we're sorted out for now, I hope. But up back at the front, Greg Evans to the inside of DeBarro. These guys are just not giving it not giving a rest.
No, this is fantastic racing. I mean, we were worried earlier on tonight how hard passing was going to be, and it is. But it's providing some really exciting
contact with the 46 and 89. Jeff Ward going to save it though, and a new leader with some aggressive passing is going to put Ward all the way back down the order behind Bresci and maybe even behind Thompson. Wow. What a move from Greg Evans. I don't want to pull away just yet, though, as 46 tries to drive off into the night sky. He's got the 28 and the 27 in behind. They're fighting for second place now.
Yeah, we mentioned Greg Evans, rather, earlier. Had some issues, got collected in a couple of wrecks and was driven up to the lead. That 46 car is strong tonight.
Yeah, it's really strong tonight. And it looks like, I'm curious if he can potentially drive away. We saw Ward kind of holding some people up. Not sure if he had the pace to necessarily lead this race, but Greg Evans starting to pull away.
Yeah, I'm interested to see now that DeBarro's cleared Johnson, if he's able to track him down some. Just who's got the pace better. I mean, these guys have been fairly even on tires, I would think. Maybe DeBarro's a little more rough on his because he was battling for longer, but Evans is really maintaining that lead.
Really maintaining the lead, not just maintaining, he's been expanding it a little bit. They were both almost even across the line last time through, a little bit faster for Greg Evans. And you see the chaos that's all in behind Anthony DeBarro. It's Johnson, Bresci, Ward, Riley Thompson, Buchanan, all in one big group. And passing has been a very hard thing to do around here. It's been coming at a premium, and we definitely saw with that, with Jeff Ward getting physically moved out of the way to make that pass happen.
Yeah, I mean, you're able to get side by side with a guy, but you're just not able to get the drive off the corner to stay side by side with him on the entry.
Yeah, moving on back down the order, we got the battle between the 8 of Woody Mahana and Brandon Key and the 22. Brandon Key, whoa! Some contact between the 8 and the 22. Hard. Oh, and the 8 goes flying and gets some contact from behind from the 32 of Shane Ewing. That's a championship contender. Or a guy trying to get into the championship to contend. 32 is Shane Ewing, and he's got some heavy damage to the nose of his car.
Yeah, Ewing's 100 points ahead of the cutoff line right now, so hopefully this doesn't hurt his chances too terribly much. See where he cycles out here after the field comes around.
Yeah, so I'll look back at what happened there. It started on the front straightaway here between the 22 and the 8. Did they make contact? Oh yeah, they did make some contact down the straightaway. Mahan tried to save it. Unfortunately went back up, hit the 45 and the 32, nowhere to go for him. Let's ride on board with Shane Ewing. And here's what the 32 saw coming out of turn 4. You see the 8 car spinning up ahead. He sees a spin to the inside, comes back to the outside, slams on the brakes, but again, just nowhere for him to go. And ooh, gets hit in the left front as well.
By looks like a Vic Bloom.
And then there's another one involved as well.
That's the biggest crash we've seen tonight.
Yeah, and that's really saying something. We've seen a decent amount of spins and whatnot, but no real big wrecks. But race off of pit road is going to be one. Like Casey Lakatos? No, Lakatos just passed on through. It's going to be Greg Evans leading the race off of pit road. And it's going to be Anthony DeBarro, Timothy Johnson, and Jeff Ward. Going to be the 4th car out of the pit cycle. However, not the leader. Will Roberts stayed out. He's come back down in. Norm Pelletier is staying out. Interesting call here. I'm curious if he's going to stay here or potentially come down into the pits.
I mean, he's got some damage on the front of that car, so I don't know. I mean, he's right on the playoff cut line, and if he can hold on and win this, we get a streak of yellows. He's 62 points out right now, so realistically, if he wins, he could be in. So this might be a Hail Mary attempt by Norm to make it into the fuel finals.
Yeah, bring that back up yet again. I'm honestly half tempted to keep this up there the whole time, but I think they're probably going to annoying after a while. But yeah, looking at it, Norm Pelletier back in 17th again. Got to make it inside the top 12. And oh, whoa. That was a violent
Oh,
pull off with a 56. Looks like a video game where the AI cars just yank onto pit road. So he's just going to stay out there to lead a lap, get himself a bonus point. And yeah, you can see the deficit that Norm Pelletier has. 62 points in behind Casey Shue. And remember, Casey Shue has struggled quite a bit. But remember how I was saying he needed some luck and some cautions to get himself back one lap down? He has done that. So, and he's the first car a lap down competing with Shane Ewing. So this 4 looking to turn his night around.
yeah, he might just be able to do that too. I mean, he's right on the cutoff line. He's down 1 lap now.
Yeah, currently in 26, see him rolling off of pit road. Still no, actually some damage to the left front of that car, but again, kept it fairly clean, especially compared to some of the other guys in this field. We'll also take a look at where Brian Chambliss is running. He got a decent look. You can see, I'll try to get a better camera angle here. Oh yeah, you can see the nose and the left side of that car all torn up. He's not entirely clear of that cutoff line, only 42 points ahead. If guys like Colin Fambro, who's still having a good run up in 9th, continue to have a good night, this could really upset the order of things. But getting ready for the restart here, Greg Evans gonna lead them back down.
Evans picks the inside there.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. And speaking of picks, are you still going to be rolling with Riley Thompson? I mean, he's running in 5th. Is he still your guy to potentially win this race?
I would say so. I mean, he's 102 points out. He's had some serious pace tonight. I think we're going to see some big plays by Riley Thompson as this race plays along.
Here we go for the restart. Oh, big pile-up or check-up out of turn 4. And some guys were able to get away with it, I guess, and we're still going to remain green, no caution, as Greg Evans is going to lead them down through turns 1 and 2. It's going to be DeBarro, Timothy Johnson, Jeff Ward, Riley Thompson, your top 5 as they sort themselves out. That could have been huge there.
Yep, Jeff Ward looking to the inside of Timothy Johnston right now.
Yeah, almost making
looking like he might like to pass.
Oh, he's been racing these guys really aggressively. He's not a happy camper, I imagine, the 89. He wants it to get back in the lead, and he wants it now. He's gonna just clear the 28 of Timothy Johnson. Now gonna set his sights on the 27 and the 46 up ahead. And I'm really curious once he gets to that 46, it could be very interesting.
Yeah, it might take him the rest of the race to get there with as hard as passing's been tonight and how hard these guys have been running. So if he gets there with 20 to go, or even before that, I think he's definitely gonna lay the bumper to him.
I see Jeff Ward's led 38 laps tonight. Unfortunately, he hasn't been in the lead for a little bit after what happened to him with getting uprooted by Greg Evans out of the way. Great save by Jeff Ward. I didn't really get the chance to see it. He did a phenomenal job saving that car and keeping it going, but he's still going to be back in 3rd. And remember, pretty much all these guys up here, none of them going for the win, really, except for maybe Riley Thompson back in that 58 car. Really, probably the best shot I've seen him have all season, other than Talladega.
Yeah. I mean, your top 4 guys right now, well, they're locked in on points and on wins. So I don't know how aggressive these guys are going to be for extra points to carry into the fuel finals. If that's really what they're focusing on tonight, or if they're just focusing on having a good, consistent finish tonight.
So far, it looks like the order of things has not been disturbed up in the front for the most part. It's been fairly orderly, and as they say that, caution out, and it's Sam Crow around on the back straightaway out of turn 2.
Looks like it's just a self-spin for Sam Crow. Unfortunately, gets into the throttle a little too hard. Just couldn't save it.
Yeah, just a classic spin off of the corner. Took a ride on the inside, and the in-car cam of the 0. Riding on the roll bar here. Oh yeah, and he was one of these guys he downshifted into 3rd. And we were talking about this when during one of the drops. You're noticing that some of these drivers were shifting through the corner, and that was definitely one of the leading causes for this incident with Sam Crow.
Yeah, I think that really helps as the tires wearing some, the pace slows down. You can actually use that to pick it up. But usually your first 10 or 15 laps or so, you won't do that on a tire run. Just you have to slow up too much or abuse the tires. Interesting taker on pit road is Nick Cohan right now. Just to see if he's plans on staying out the rest of the race, get some fresh tires, and gonna hold some track position.
I mean, hey, honestly, that's a pretty good call. pit now, get the fresh tires on now, and then when you need to, stay out and inherit the lead. It's definitely, again, seeing passing really hard tonight. Probably the hardest track I've seen it being at all season long for these guys. More so than usual. I thought Richmond would have been a little bit of a problem, but they were able to pass, I wouldn't say easily, but definitely able to get it done if they got the lane. Here, it's been really, really hard to do. You almost need to hope for the car ahead of you to make a mistake for you to get a lane.
Yeah, I mean, he has to miss his breaking point, or you have to put a bumper to him tonight, it looks like, just to be able to get a position.
Looking down the order, just for anyone that catches my eye, I saw Alec Martinez. He's dropped back quite a bit, got a lot of nose damage to his car. Wasn't able to pick up exactly what happened to the 54.
That is a significant amount of damage.
Yes.
And
I was gonna say, I don't remember him being involved in a major wreck, so I'm guessing this might have happened under green.
yeah, I mean, I didn't see him getting involved in any incidents while we were watching, even when we had dropped. But that, I mean, that's a significant amount of damage. That could seriously hurt the. I wonder if the motor's damaged on that machine.
Yeah, no, you're definitely right. Sebastian quite a bit. Could be affecting the power out of the 54 car. He hasn't been running, I guess, the best tonight. He's a car that runs fairly well. But I think tonight, definitely not one of his shining moments. You see, highest he's been is actually in 10th place. So he's just barely got inside the top 10 all night long. Been low as 27th, so it's been quite a ride for the 54 of Martinez.
And you were mentioning Colin Famborough earlier. You know how good of a run he's been having. He's fallen back to ninth, which isn't terrible, but there's a lot of damage on that car as well. So,
Yeah.
you know, he continues getting some damage on that. Just little incidents. We could once again see some motor issues.
And definitely the little dings and hits add up. You see a lot of damage to the rear of his car as well, but for the most part, he should be okay. Again, at least for now, as long as he doesn't ding up that car anymore, because then you really start to push it. And then that too, if you get too much damage, especially to your engine, you could potentially overheat and blow a motor. And again, no driver's going to want that, especially if you're one of those guys on the bubble. You want to be making sure you finish at the end of this race.
Yeah, we're going back green here. There's a field rows through 3 and 4. There's a lot of damage on cars tonight.
Yeah, quite a
Just
few
all throughout
guys
the field.
with some damaged cars, but we still got 70 laps to go here as Evans gets a good jump on the start. Green flag back in the air. Going to clear Anthony Navarro before turn 1. Jeff Ford on a hunt.
And Jeff Ward's gains a position there on Johnson just by starting on the inside there. So that's one position he doesn't, you know, have to try and make up or fight with. See if he's able to track down the guys in front of him.
Yeah, again, we saw he was starting to close into the leaders before that caution came out, so I think we'll see something similar here if he can get back to him. But one guy I want to try to take a look at here is Nick Cohen, stuck back here in 21st in the 21 car. And remember, pit under that last caution. We think, oh, there's actually a wreck right from Casey Shue. And Casey Lacatus also involved as well. Caution back out in the air. Man, oh man, just as I was saying how good of a night the 4 was having, was about to turn around. He actually got back on the lead lap under the caution, wasn't able to mention that. But now has significant damage
Back.
Yep, and we're back here, green at USA. And just for the restart, it's going to be Greg Evans going out to a fairly strong lead. Then we got Anthony DeBarro, and here comes Jeff Ward now to the inside, trying to make a pass. Again, saw how hard they missed to make a pass on the inside, but the 89 is a man on a mission, and he gets past the 27 with relative ease.
Yeah, that's about the
Whoa,
smoothest
in
pass.
behind him though, 40 Doring the 58 of Riley Thompson. That was an aggressive move. Oh, and in behind him, there goes around Tyler Dulker, and caution is going to be out yet again. Or not.
No. Wow.
Take a quick look at what happened there. I think got some help from Colin Fambro. Just went off the nose, did a complete spin, but wasn't able to trigger the yellow, so we remain green here at USA. And Greg Evans still in the lead. It's Jeff Ward trying to chase him down to Barrow, Johnson, Bressy, Riley Thompson. We saw him get into some contact with the 40 of Buchanan. Buchanan back in 9th place.
Yeah, running right behind Brandon Key, who's just kind of still running in the top 10. Just still a quiet night for him.
Yeah, that's really all he just needs to do is just, run quietly. Don't try not to get involved in other people's messes, because it's definitely easy to do so.
Especially tonight with how tight this track is.
Indeed how tight it is, and especially I think really one of the big keys of the race is to have a lot of patience. We've seen quite a few guys, be a little bit too aggressive, I would say, in some cases, and getting involved with other drivers.
I don't know if Jeff Ward missed his braking point down there in 3 and 4, or if he got some help from DeBarro, but he was way wide entering turn 3. So might be something to keep an eye on.
Indeed, something to keep an eye on, but up in the front, it's Jeff Ward trying to chase down Greg Evans, but Greg Evans, look at the lead he's got. Massive
Yeah, I
lead.
mean, he's set sail.
So he's trying to put a ceasing gap to Jeff Ward. Again, not entirely sure if Ward is going to do anything if he gets to the 46, but again, the 46 moved him out of the way once. I would say it's more than fair enough for the 89 to do the same, especially here as we're entering the last quarter of this race with 50 laps to go, just over 50 laps to go.
Yeah, this race has been clicking by really fast, even with the amount of cautions we've had just being on a short track.
Kind of looking through the order for some battles. Here we go. It's Nick Cohen. Remember, came to the pits a while back, and now he's trying to move up through the order here. He's currently up in 11th as he moves around Norm Pelletier.
I don't know if Norm's going to let him go here or not. Those guys kind of teammates. Cohan was working on trying to push Norm to the win last week when that big incident happened, so it looks like Norm cut him a break there. That's very kind of him.
Everyone's swerving out of the way for Casey Shue, just a lap down car, trying to survive at that point, just trying to get as many points as he can. Really, still unfortunate what happened to him after rebounding from being 3 laps down, got almost terminal damage to his car, but still running out there.
Yeah, Cohan's being, slow and methodical with this, not making any harsh or brash maneuvers. Just trying to keep the car clean, which I think is the smart thing to do. If he is going to need to stay out, if we get a late race caution.
Yeah, you see him now just trying to find his way around Colin Fambro. And he has to be a little bit, whoa, I was going to say have to be a little bit aggressive. We just saw Zach Buchanan clip the wall quite a bit.
He's got a nice fresh paint scheme on it and wants his vinyl guys to do some work next week.
Yeah, now under danger, getting past from Colin Fambro. He's going to send into the corner, contact, both of them going spinning.
Oh, Norm involved. You got a little bit of damage out of that too, right in front of Nick Cohan. Wow, that's big.
Try to see how this started. In fact, we'll take a look at what happened to Buchanan coming out of turn 4. He ended up having a little bit of a tank slapper with the wall. See him coming out of the corner right there. Bam, just hits the wall. And then in behind, you're going to see Colin Fambro and Nick Cohen start to mount some pressure here. And then this is where it starts to get ugly. And Fambro with a move to the inside. Buchanan tried to pinch him down. Unfortunately, not enough room for 2 cars, and Buchanan goes spinning around.
Nice job by Zach Buchanan to keep, not avoid getting hit there too.
Yeah, only had a scrape from, I believe, Norm Pelletier, but other than that, could have been a hell of a lot worse. Unfortunately, he stuck back in 21st, the last car on the lead lap.
And there it is. That's exactly what we were thinking. Nick Cohen stays out with everybody pits.
Yep, and well, this is I think the moment he was waiting for, and we'll see how it plays out. But everyone else down on pit road, and pit road a busy place.
I mean, we've seen the tires mean some, but it's not huge. It's really track position.
So that's where I ask you. You know, if you were a crew chief up on the box, would you yell at anyone to take 2 tires? Up, as I say that, Anthony Barrow takes 2 tires.
I don't know how effective 2 tires really is anymore with this iteration of the tire model. I mean, it might help you roll center of the quarter some, but I think 4 tires. If you're going to come down pit road, I'd just take 4.
Yep. Well, I guess we're going to get a good look now. 0 tires versus 2 tires versus a full 4 tires for a lot of guys in behind. So this was Greg Evans on the back foot now, after losing his the lead of the race to both the 21 and the 27.
But he still has those 4 fresh tires.
Yeah.
So, and he's going to be starting on the, more than likely restarting on the inside. So that could still be a big benefit to him if he's starting behind the leader.
Just getting ready for the restart here. If we go green all the way to the end from here on out, it should be about 15 minutes of racing. So not a lot of time left. This could be the move that wins Nick Cohen the race here. We'll still see. But, you know, pulled an interesting strategy call. I mean, hey, you know, if you can't pass him on the track, you can definitely pass him on the pits with some strategy. Exactly what Cohen did.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he would have made this decision had he, you know, not got behind with that accident earlier on. Because I think he had the pace to potentially take the lead from maybe Jeff Ward, but Greg Evans is just so strong. You know, pulling out that big lead after he got by Ward and DeBarro. So, this is a tough one to call. I don't know if we have really a favorite here or not.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know you've been pulling for the 58, but I mean, really out of I would say the top 5, what we're looking at now, Cohen, DeBarro, Evans, Ward, and Johnston have been there in the top 5 nearly all race. So if you were to pick from one of those 5, who would you pick and why?
I'm going to go for Nick Cohen, simply for the reason the dude doesn't have give up in him. I mean, we've seen it all season, just how hard he's fought for a lot of stuff. The other thing with Nick, he's not afraid to use the bumpers if he needs to. So I think that's been pretty well documented.
Yep.
So I would choose Nick Cohen.
Yeah, I'm a little upset because I was going to pick Nick Cohen, but I guess, you know, obvious pick. Especially I am really loving the way you picked the strategy. But I guess if I were to pick someone, I would go for my next call would be Greg Evans, and that 46 going to be lined up right behind that 21 with 4 fresh Goodyears. But we'll see how this plays out now. Pace car going to dive back in. Under 50 laps left here to go at USA. It's coming down to the wire. Green flag back in the air.
Cohen gets a decent start, but DeBarro's still right there with him.
Bunch of side-by-side. Here we go. DeBarro now to the inside. Cohen going way out of the groove, almost into the wall. DeBarro easily going to take the lead back. How about that with the 2-tire call? DeBarro's going to take the lead. He's going to keep it. Here comes also Jeff Ward and everyone else on through. And this call not looking good.
No, it looks like you chose the right guy.
Apparently. I'm actually really surprised by that.
I am too. I mean, we haven't seen tires make that huge of a difference all night. But now Jeff Ward's back up there, really looking hard on.
Here we go. Here he has a look to the inside, battle for the lead. To the inside goes Jeff Ward, to the inside of DeBarro. DeBarro going to be defending that outside lane. And this is a similar story to what we've seen all night long. In fact, it's positions reversed now.
Reversed. Yeah.
Reversed from earlier on.
I wonder if DeBarro's going to use some of those tactics that Ward taught him earlier in this race.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it worked early in the race. I don't see why it wouldn't work now. Got Greg Evans in behind trying to chase these 2 down. And also trying to chase Jeff Ward down. And, you know, he's already used up 1 bump and run. Can he use up a second?
Yeah. I mean, I was kind of expecting Cohen to get out to a little bit of a lead and Evans track him down there, but that throws that completely out of the picture here. Unless we have a dramatic change, of events. But do you think Ward would be willing to use up to borrow a little bit?
I don't see really any love lost between the two, but we'll see if he really does get desperate here. He was dominating the early part of this race. In fact, he'll try to pull up the laps like this, kind of where everyone's at the moment. Actually, I cannot pull that up because of all the resetting I've had to do.
I want to say he had 38 laps led earlier when the last time we checked.
Yeah, he definitely had 38 or somewhere around there. Might have led another one or two, but not much more than that. But meanwhile, in the back, Cohen's really, I think, getting second guesses about his strategy call here. He's been dropping down the order. And a caution out here. That's for Tyler Dulger on the back straightaway, and this night has not gone well for this 88 car.
No, I believe this is the second caution he's been involved in.
And here is Tyler Dulger here on the front straightaway. Oh, gets tapped by Vic Bloom in the 99. Tried to save it throughout 1 and 2, but just lost it on exit of 2. Lazy spin around will bring out the caution.
Got to give him credit. He never stopped driving that car, though.
I was going to say, you want to get some water? I feel bad kind of holding it. I feel like I'm holding hostage here.
You're fine.
But here comes Vic Bloom. You'll see him side by side with Dulger down the straightaway. I think both of them just found each other in the same part of the track, just clipped him a little bit. Unfortunately, Dulger wasn't able to save it.
Once again, nothing really malicious, nothing huge, no. I mean, just racing incidents so far tonight, mainly. And the last from our last short track race at Richmond.
Yeah, well, I mean, I went to the night's young. But
no,
we still got
a
decent amount of laps left to go in this race, yeah. So I think it can devolve into Richmond very quickly if they wanted to.
And the first couple, I mean, the first part of Richmond was fairly clean as well. So yeah, we might devolve into that madness, but I doubt it. We don't have any real guys, other than Riley Thompson up front that could win this race. I mean, make his way in based off a win. So
yeah. So while we're under caution, let's take another chance to get an update on the points picture and how that's playing out. So Casey Shue, he's stuck all the way back in 25th. He's 6 laps down. He's still running out on the track. Man, that car. Could you figure out who's the car directly in front of Casey Shue, parked on pit road, just leaving a smoke cloud?
Kevin Filarski.
Oh, it's Calvin Filarski? Oh, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
That's been blocking the view from the front stretch camera. It's just a cloud of smoke coming on the front stretch. But yeah, so Casey Shue back in 25th. Remember, only 16 points ahead of Colin Fambro, and Colin Fambro, meanwhile, have been having a very solid day. He's currently running in 9th place. So, Fambro looking like he might be able to overtake Casey Shue again. We'll try to get word on who's in, who's out before the night is over. But at the moment, that's going to be it's looking to be the only change of position. You're saying?
Yeah, I mean, that car is like we've been mentioning all night. Just still a lot of damage to these race cars out here. And I don't think we're done with the carnage yet. So even though it's looking, we haven't seen a whole bunch of on-track passes. We still have 30, coming to 30 laps to go here very soon. That's still a lot of time for stuff to get very interesting. So I wouldn't tune out quite yet. This one's far from over.
And also Brian Chambliss in the fight as well, though I'm thinking he's looking more and more good as this race goes on. As long as he can finish on the lead lap and finish with everyone else, I think he should be okay. Also Casey Lakatos, he's retired. It seems he's pulled out the track. He's 17 up. He's actually not retired. He's just fixing a lot of damage. He's 17 laps down, still running out there for some points. Gotta give it to him. That's a lot of dedication. But getting ready here for the restart. Pace car's going to pull off yet again. DeBarro going to be in the outside. Green flag back in the air. It's going to be Timothy Johnson and Ward almost getting into each other on the start in turn 1. They're still going to be side by side battling out for second place.
Yeah, Johnson's looking on the outside.
Whoa, contact!
Oh, a little bit of contact.
Contact between both of them, that's going to send Timothy Johnson out of the groove. Ward's going to get on by. Evans trying to do the same.
That sends him back into the clutches of Greg Evans, who's not wasting any time trying to get back up through the field.
And right behind them, the teammates going at it. Riley Thompson and Hamas Stories, they got a little bit aggressive with each other. Looks like the teammates are kind of going out of the window for all the teams on the track.
Yeah, I mean, that's surprising to me. Pastorius is good. I mean, he's 130 points to the good in terms of the points. He's sitting in 8th, so I'm surprised he's not trying to help his teammate.
Yeah, I was going to say, if anything, Thompson needs, all the, well, not really points at this point. If anything, he needs to win. Yeah, so yeah, you should try to help out your teammate, but Pastorius, I guess, all for one, and that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess one car in the fuel finals is better than none, but 2 I think would be better than 1 for sure, if that's a possibility.
Story's going to be in front of his teammate. He's now going to try to get over the back bumper of Thomas Bresci. Man, that smoke on the front stretch is really blocking some of the view.
Yeah, my iRacing's actually losing the cars down the back straightaway. They get eaten by a cloud of nothing, and then come back about entering turn 3. So.
Yeah, well, looks like the first few cars are single file in the order. DeBarro is starting to pull away from Jeff Ward by just a little bit. Last time through, Ward was only 0.03 of a second faster. Not enough.
That's not. I mean, with as big of a gap as it is, and as hard to pass as it is, I'd say he needs to catch him within the next at least 10 laps to try and make anything happen. Or if he can't catch him, what's Greg Evans gonna do?
So we'll see here, and Evans lining up in behind Ward. And we saw these guys get pretty aggressive early on. You can see a repeat of what happened earlier. Ward's getting, sorry, not Ward, Evans is getting a look on Jeff Ward. Gonna have to back out of it for now. And with 25 laps to go, do you have any patience left as a driver, or?
No, this is go time now.
You're very quick to respond to that.
Yeah, this is definitely go time. 175 at 200. The way we're clicking these off, yeah, there's no. I mean, this is a short track Saturday night feature at this point in time. You got to go as fast and as hard as you can. There's no saving tires or fuel, just as much as that car will take.
And you're definitely starting to see guys go at it. Nick Killian back in 9th after I would say a poor strategy call. It looked like it might have had some promise, but unfortunately it didn't play out that way. He's stuck back in 9th trying to get around Brandon Key.
I mean, you got to give him credit, though. In the same position, I think we would all made that same call. And that was really quick thinking of Cohan once he got down, trying to do anything. And if that had worked out, that would have been an absolutely brilliant strategy call. So, lots of props to Nick Cohan for at least trying something there.
Getting a look on board with him. And actually, you're going to pull off of him for a little bit, and seeing it get a little bit spicy towards the front. Bear's getting around Casey Shue, lap down. And Ward's been really making some inroads now. He's been getting at around 0.05 of a second to half a tenth a lap. Really starting to close in.
So this is going to be very interesting. Fembro was behind 16 points. He's running 9th right now. Casey Shue's running 25th. So that's going to be really, really close in terms of your points. I mean, it's almost dead even right now. So I'm interested if we have a tie there.
Yeah,
what would the tiebreaker be?
Yeah, and so with the way the order's been playing, I don't even think will be much of a tie. I'm trying to remember how many points 16th place guys. Can you look that up for me?
Let me look it.
Well, Zach's doing that. Still the leaders, and Jeff Ward's really been making some inroads here as DeBarro's trying to get around Casey Lakatos. Didn't really get around him too quickly, and Ward's right there. He's up in behind him. And it's now a battle for the lead, a three-way battle for the lead, as Greg Evans is also closing in with under 20 laps left to go.
I'm still working on trying to figure out where we've got the points listed.
No, I think it's fine. But I definitely think it's starting to lean more into Colin Fambro's favor. However, I don't think I don't think we could be worried too much about this, because this is going to get very interesting for the lead here. These guys all in the front here. Who uses the bumper first?
I think that's going to be really the question as to who wins this race. Who uses the bumper first? Is it going to be Ward on DeBarro? Is it going to be Evans on Ward? Fall back a little bit.
Indeed, to let him fall back quite a bit. So the gap separated out just a little bit yet again. And actually in behind him. Oh, I just thought it was a pass for position. It was just Bressy getting around the lap car of the 32. And whoa, Thompson and Pistorius still very close to each other. They've
Going
given
at
each
it.
other a lot of room.
No, I mean that's. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some discussions after the race about how this is playing out.
And actually, and here's Nick Cohen. He's gotten around Brandon Key, going to make a look to the inside of Riley Thompson.
I mean, if Cohen could still salvage a top 10 or even a top 5 out of this night, that would be impressive.
Definitely think so, especially he's had the pace to do it again. Just got caught up by the strategy. But again, like I said earlier, props for him for trying something. But up in the front, his teammate still leading with under 15 laps to go. Ward didn't really get a good exit out of the corner there, and he's been trying to chase down.
And we've got a caution.
Ooh.
This is going to change things. Do you pit?
It is.
Do you stay out?
Well, we'll find out in a little bit. First, let's take a look at what brought out that caution. Whoa, this is interesting. This happened on the front straightaway here, on the back straightaway going into turn 3. Watch the 56 of Norm Pelletier and the 45 of Brian Chambliss. Yeah, looks like Pelletier just tried to slot in through between the 45 and the wall. Fortunately, his car just did not fit.
A really rough night for those two guys there. There, but and once again, another issue for Norm. Really tough season.
Here's a look at what happened just on the start. Yeah, just gassed it up out of the corner, got loose all on his own, and went flying to the inside wall. So tough break for Pelletier. Well, I guess it gives us another chance at setting up the stakes for this final restart and get the chance to do another drop. Hopefully we'll have all these bugs sorted out and everything for next week. But it's Anthony DeBarro in the lead, Jeff Ward, Greg Evans, Thomas Bressy, and Hayden Pistorius are top 5. So a little bit of a shakeup in the front.
Yeah. DeBarro chose the outside that last restart and went really early in the restart zone. Even he was fired off in the middle of 3 and 4, and I think that caught Jeff Ward off guard.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting here because we were talking about earlier, having some sort of patience. I'm in agreement with you now. Absolutely nothing. I don't think there's anything on the table. Especially too, I would argue none of these guys really have much to lose, only stuff to gain. Because all these drivers here in the front, DeBarro, Jeff Ward, Greg Evans, Bressy, Pistorius, they're all locked in on points. So might as well go for a win if you can.
Yeah, I mean, all you're doing is just racking up more points to that. I mean, to help you get through the Fuel Finals. So it's going to be a really tough round for these guys to get through. I know we got some drama here. Can you wait till we get to the last race of the season? I think there's going to be some drama there.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the thing too. You know, if you take someone out here, who's to say they won't try to pay you back in the playoffs and the finals when it matters?
Exactly. I mean, it's not like you have some fast guys that might miss the playoffs tonight that might be able to contend for wins or even top tens. So this championship is just getting heated up.
Coming back around here, we'll see if this is actually going to be a green-white checkered or not. And indeed, it is.
Yeah, 198. So.
All right. First green-white checkered of tonight. There we go.
Can't say we're too. I mean, at least I'm not too surprised that we're having a green-white checkered tonight after some of the racing and all the questions we've had.
There has been quite a few. Again, unfortunately, I don't have info properly up to date with all the ticker restarting, but it's been quite a few. I think you me can agree on that. It's been a very hectic night for these guys.
There's no doubt about it. I mean, we've had some fantastic racing throughout all of it, though. Even in the mid pack, we've had some good side-by-side action. But the race for the lead all night's been tremendous. Back and forth.
Here we go. Getting the lineup for the restart. They said Timothy Johnson, he's going to be taking the wave around, get back on the lead lap. He's going to be last car on the lead lap, 20th. As we get ready for our first attempt at the green-white checkered. And remember, we have unlimited attempts as long as time allows. So like, imagine, I think we're getting fairly close on time.
Let me look for us.
Try to get a look for us quickly.
20 minutes left.
Yeah, 20. Oh, okay. So we got a chance for a few attempts at a green-white checkered.
Yeah.
Don't know if that's going to be good information for these guys or not, but nonetheless, pace car off. Green flag back in the air. Great start for DeBarro on the outside.
And Ward's going to tuck right in behind him. I don't think there's any question. These guys are going to use the bumper now.
Yeah, and he's going to use a bumper now. Let's see. And also in behind them, Greg Evans and Thomas Bressi side by side.
Look at Nick Cohan.
Yeah, Nick Cohen around the outside. Here we go, white flag. They're going to be finishing it out here on this attempt. Ward to the inside of DeBarro. Does he make it physical? Here we go, a little bit of a bump. 27 spinning in front of the field.
Oh, and that's huge.
It is. There's a massive wreck behind, but up in the front, Jeff Ward is going to be rounding out at turn 4, and he will collect the checkered flag at USA.
Wow.
How about that?
We waited all night for a big one.
Yeah.
And it finally struck the second to last corner.
Yeah. Oh, Richmond has kind of come back, reared its ugly head yet again. And I think there are going to be might be some hurt feelings on this one, but Jeff Ward's going to round out a turn 4 and going to be able to do some burnouts to see if he has someone join him.
That's 2 weeks in a row Jeff Ward goes to victory lane. So is he building some momentum at the right time entering the playoffs?
Well, I mean, he had some really good momentum going into the playoffs last season. Unfortunately, wasn't able to walk away with the cup. It was the driver he got into, Anthony DeBarro, that took away the championship. But hey, you got to start somewhere. You might be able to start it here. All right, we're going to take a little bit of a break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with some post-race interviews, and I can imagine it's going to be very interesting to interview some of these drivers. All right, and we're back here at USA with Greg Evans. Greg, you had a very interesting view of that race from the front. You were in the lead at some points, you were not in the lead at some points. But I think one thing's for certain that it was definitely really hard to pass out there. Just kind of, explain, I guess, potentially why it was so hard to pass and how you were trying to get around that.
Well, I mean, there was just so many lines people could run. If you were struggling, you could move up the track and get a run off the corner. And if you were faster, you had to try to use the bottom, but it just got so loose off the corners. Yeah, it was extremely hard to pass. Even if you were, like I said, even if you were faster than the guy in front of you, the outside was almost a preferred groove when you were side by side. So it made it extremely hard. And I think a lot of guys, it was just kind of single file racing for until like the last 50 laps there for trying to take a chance if you got it there.
Yeah, and also, you definitely saw that you had the pace to finish, probably potentially get the win here. Unfortunately, you weren't able to get it. But we saw you get into a bit of a scuffle with Jeff Ford. So, from your point of view, do you think that move was, I wouldn't say necessary, but do you think you needed to do that move? Or do you think it would have been really hard to try to do it cleanly otherwise?
I don't know, man. As soon as that happened, I apologized to Jeff. I was racing the bar road trying to get by him because I was looking behind me and everybody else was on the outside. And I don't know if I didn't make the pass on the bar road that I might lose a couple of positions. And I just got in the corner a little hot, got loose, and next thing I know, there was Jeff. But I apologized to him. I think he understood that it was nothing intentional. I wasn't trying to move him or anybody. But it was just one of those racing deals. And like I said, me and Jeff already talked about it. I think we're good there.
All right. Well, there was your third place finisher, Greg Evans. Greg, great job tonight, and good luck for the rest of the field finals.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you guys broadcasting all the races for us.
Yeah, no problem. All right, next in the booth, we're going to have Hayden Pistorius in the 19. And there we go. Hayden, you got a very interesting view of that finish. Just kind of walk us through those last two laps.
I don't have anything else to say except wow, that was crazy. I wasn't expecting to come away with a second place finish after. I was just hoping to set myself up and give Cohan the bump and run for fifth, but second place.
Yeah, I mean, you got a fantastic finish, and this is absolutely. I mean, you're already pretty much a shoe in for getting into the finals, but some might say you're a bit of an underdog, especially considering how competitive the field is here in the Field Cup Series, especially this season more than ever. What is your kind of strategy throughout the finals to keep yourself in contention?
Well, my strategy is to practice and practice no matter what, and just try to keep up to the pace that we got Jeff and Anthony and Greg and all those guys are running, and hopefully I'll have a shot at least a decent finish in the finals.
All right, there's your second place finisher, Hayden Pistorius. Hayden, thanks for talking to us, and good luck in the finals.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to our next interviewer, or I guess next driver, is Anthony DeBarro. And DeBarro, you were leading up until you're leading past the white flag. Just kind of walk us through what happened to you on that last lap from your perspective.
Next question, please.
Yeah, you don't want to comment on it. I'm guessing not too happy with it.
I don't have anything to add to it. So if you have any more further questions, you could ask me. If not, I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Well, all right. So I guess the next question I would have for you, you're the defending champion. You've been arguably one of the most dominant drivers this season. However, we've seen, especially in the last couple of races, it's been very competitive up in the front of the field. What's your goal, your goals ahead for the field finals to get yourself another championship?
Oh, just be solid until we get to the last race and go win it, and you pretty much control your own destiny if you go win the last race. If you get in, so that's what we're gonna go. We'll go for it. So we did last year, and we're gonna give it our best shot here and see if we get a repeat.
All right, there is your seventh. Unfortunately, was leading at the white flag. Unfortunately, finished in 17th. But Navarro, best of luck to you in the field finals.
Thank you. Good job in the booth, guys.
Thank you. And last but certainly not least, our winner for today at USA, Jeff Ward, in the 89. And Jeff, we saw a lot of controversy happen at Richmond. Do you want to walk us through what happened on the white flag?
Yeah, man. What a race. Glad I was able to get the win, but I hate winning it with controversy. I got to apologize to Tim Johnson. I got in the turn hot and just drove right up the track into him. And Greg actually did that to me early in the race. It was easy to miss your braking point and slide up into the guy. So apologize to him for that. And with Anthony, man, I drove in there. He gave me a lane right there in the middle. And on my end, I mean, I got the replay. I'm 6 inches from his car. So that was just a net code thing. I know he thinks I drove in there and wrecked him or something like that, but that's not the case. I'm sure he'll probably try to use it against me so he can have a reason to turn me at Vegas or something. Yeah, hopefully not.
Yeah, well, I've been asking a lot of the other drivers the same thing. You had a really good shot at winning the championship last year. Unfortunately, you lost it to the 27 on DeBarro. So, what's your goal this year for this season to try to turn your hopes around and potentially get the championship from him?
Well, last year at Homestead, I was able to get to his bumper and was probably a little too nice. I probably should try to do a little bump and run or something, but I typically don't like to race that way, but I've been raced that way a lot here lately. So, we'll just go in there and hopefully we're in the top 3 towards the end of the race and just try to make something happen. You never know with these things, man. Tonight was another one of them things where you never know. It was kind of a mess up.
All right, that was our race winner, Jeff Ford. Jeff, good luck to you in the rest of the Fuel Finals.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, well, so with that, that's going to wrap up our interviews. Zach, any final thoughts from USA?
It did not disappoint. Although it was tough to pass, we saw some fantastic racing. Another controversial finish here. Again, I mean, this is just leading up to be one of the best fuel finals I think we've seen in quite some time. So, really excited for the finale of the season.
Yeah, really looking forward to it indeed. And I'm looking here, and from what I'm seeing, it looks like Colin Fambrough has indeed overtaken Casey Shue. Should be the final driver making it in. And actually, I'll bring up the points one last final time. Again, I got to thank Kyle for this graphic. So again, this is obviously not up to date as of the finish just now, but basically all you have to do is swap Colin Fambrough being in over Casey Shue. And really unfortunate for Casey Shue, he's had some really poor finishes. Again, not to his own doing, just been caught up in some really rotten luck. So best of luck to him for the rest of the season. But great job for Colin Fambrough getting it done. So on that note, I think this is going to wrap up the Fuel Cup series here at USA. Again, do deeply apologize for all the internet issues we had tonight. We'll try to get it sorted out for the rest of the Fuel season and the Fuel finals. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.